The Battle of Britain is about to begin.
We got extra up there. Let's follow a range on Detroit. I'm doing out right on the target right now. I've got a couple of these right in front of me. I'm going out for it. Right, I got him.
Welcome back to the Lead Pursuit Podcast. Tonight, we're going to give you our best guess at what you should buy people for hobby for the holidays, or what you should buy people you hate for hobby for the holidays. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. But tonight, I've got Steve, Brett, and Matt, and we're going to carry you through what we have in our lists. If you've heard this episode before, over each year, the categories are going to be the same. We still have our stocking stuffers, we've got the obligation gifts, and then we've got the Rockstar gifts in there as well. And we'll talk about each of the categories when we get to them. But before we talk about that, let's talk about, Steve, what you've got going for Blue Falcon Hobbies. Tell us about your Kickstarter.
Yeah, so I reached out from Blue Falcon Hobbies and the whole other staff of Blue Falcon Hobbies and started our first Kickstarter of U.S. Vietnam era jets. So they're the high quality STLs that we've put out for ROC Works or some of the other Vietnam jets. $40 to buy in gets you 8 planes. There's bonuses if it fully funds. They're going to add some extra planes in. We already had 2 extra planes get added in by big time backers. So we're adding 2 more planes, a Wild Weasel F-105 and a Vigilante. And I think it's a pretty good value at $40 for 10 planes now, 10 STL files.
Yeah, nice, because it started at 8. 2 more have been added. As more people pitch in at the $200 level, more aircraft will get added to that. So hopefully it'll fund here about a quarter of the way, a third of the way through.
Yeah, about a third of the way.
Yeah, about a third of the way through.
Funding.
Yeah, so that'll be good, and we'll see where it goes. So it should be pretty exciting to watch. And those are the same STLs that we're selling in the store. So if people really like them and don't want to print them themselves or find some other poor schmuck to print them for them, then hey, order them right off the Lead Pursuit store, and we'll have them there. Well, awesome. So let's talk about the categories. Let's hop right into this. Our first category, which I'm really not sure how anything fits this category in the hobby and gaming world. We're going to talk about the stocking stuffer. That's $0 to $5, or as we described it, tiny gifts, because after all, it's the thought that counts. Bullshit. It's never the fucking thought that counts. It's the gift that counts. Come on, guys. Let's be honest here. But all right, if you're going to cheese out on somebody, Brett, what are you going to cheese out and buy them?
And Pro Acryl has individual bottles for $5. It's like $4.65 a bottle. Perfect stocking stuffer. Get yourself some, I think it's called Sky Blue for those canopies. There you go.
I personally use Blue Falcon Hobbies from Under Blue is what I use for my canopies. Oh, that joke never gets old. Well, yeah, bottles of paint are always a good one, generally, unless they're super crazy expensive. But yeah, those are always something that's easy to throw in there. Steve, what is your pick for the stocking stuffer?
I had a downloadable paper model kit from davesgames.net. Dave Grafam is the designer. He designs printable kits for 28 and 15 millimeter terrain. They are actually really, really good if you go the extra mile and like print them out and glue them to some foam core, or like I printed them out, glued them to MDF and lasered them. They glue together awesome. $2.99 for most of the kits, and most of the kits come with like 5 or 6 buildings with 5 or 6 different textures on them. Super good bargain.
For $2.99, can I get a paper copy of Minas Tirith? Maybe I can get one of Mordor and,
Dude, pretty
and
close.
Sauron's eye. No, that's cool. And plus, I always need more terrain. But oh my god, adding it to MDF and cutting it sounds dangerous. Sounds like I'd end up with too much terrain. No, that's cool. All right, so Matt, what is your stocking stuffer?
One single-engine piston fighter from Lead Pursuit podcast. What
You're
can you do with one fighter? Well, if you're me, you end up losing at least one of the aircraft that you swore you bought 6 of, but you can only find 5. And additionally, you decide about halfway through painting one paint scheme, you'd rather have another paint scheme. Now you have an uneven number and you need one more.
Well, there you go. Buy individual fighters. And if you really hate someone, buy them a single P-26P shooter and give that to them. All right. Well, for me, I had to steal something from our own gaming group for my stocking stuffer. For those of you that have been unfortunate enough to watch us streaming Aeronautica Imperialis, you've seen one of the orc players, Rick, rolling giant wooden dice that are literally, I want to say, 4 inches across, 3 to 4 inches across.
Those will crush a mini.
They will. And they're great when you roll them on the second story and whoever's downstairs has to listen to them bounce. You can get those at walmart.com, giant D6s, and get as many as you need. But those are pretty funny to break out in the middle of a game and roll on the table. He actually just brings a Home Depot bucket with 4 of them in it and rolls those. So anyway, more ways to annoy your friends gaming. All right. The next category, I'm obligated to buy you a gift, but I otherwise wouldn't. Something for that neighbor who took care of your cats for the weekend you went away, or the Secret Santa gift exchange at work. Brett, what is your $6 to $25 gift?
Man, I found a set of the brand is called Coaster Stone. They're those stone absorbent coasters, but they have images
those
on
kind
them.
of things sitting right here on my desk.
Yeah, they're like that. These are like 4 1/4 inch square, and it's 4 different warplanes. You've got the Corsair, the Mustang, the P-40, and an SBD, and it's all like 1998.
Perfect pricing. All right, we'll drop the link to that in the show notes on the podcast. Steve, what was your suggestion for this category?
I had the Achtung Panzer rulebook. So that's coming in, depending where you look, kind of right around that mid-20s price range. If you get it, 15 millimeter all the way.
Yeah,
that's my
I agree. I liked playing it. Mike Lewis and I played it at NashCon, and I gave him much grief because there were some things that people kept grognarding the game, and it's just a fun game. And I think at 15 mil it scales much better. So don't take the game seriously. Have fun. Play it in 15 millimeter, and blow little tanks up. All right, Matt, you're one in this category. What did you offer up?
So I actually caught an audible on mine. My initial thought was an Osprey reference book, either on a battle or an aircraft or a tank or whatever.
Yeah, that's what you suggested last year.
And I realized that. So I changed up. I now recommend either a Sarissa Precision or GC Mini MDF terrain, or in the case of Sarissa.
Sarissa's is nice. I really like Sarissa's.
I just put together a Sarissa RAF SE5 from World War One. I'd had it for years and just finally on a whim put it together. It was a lot of fun to do, and it produced a surprisingly, for an MDF aircraft model, and it was a ton of fun. It took me a little bit, evening, and don't paint it. It looks pretty. I've got a couple of their other aircraft, a Camel and a Fokker, that I'm probably just going to, build and hang in my daughter's bedroom because they look, like the old classic toys. But I was kind of browsing through their terrain and their buildings and everything like that. They've got everything from 28 to 15 mil to 172 or a bunch of different scales, and they're all around $20 for, or less than $20 for most buildings, except for larger stuff can get pretty pricey. But I think I got the aircraft kits for like $11. It was nice. A lot of fun.
Well, speaking of Fokkers on camels, my suggestion for this topic was a single sprue you can get on sale at warlord.com. Buy a Hail Caesar Epic Elephant Sprue. That'll get you 2 elephants for $8.50. So I'm being a smart ass about it. I do really like their Epic Hail Caesar miniatures, but it's a great way to kind of be a dick and not buy somebody the whole box set, but buy them enough that's going to get them interested. And I think the elephants look pretty damn cool. But you
It
can
makes
buy
a great white
all the
elephant gift.
There you go. Literally a white elephant. You can prime it white and give it as a white elephant gift. But they've got all the other sprues there, and they got them on sale. So if you want to buy any of the Hail Caesar armies, you can do it one sprue at a time. All right. Next category, the side chick, $25 to $50. I don't know, y'all side chicks that cheap? My side chick isn't that cheap. Oh, I don't have a side chick. I mean, if I had a side chick, she would not be that cheap. Okay, so the definition is this needs to be something nice, but shouldn't break the bank. Need to keep the person happy, but there's other people you'd rather spend the big bucks on. So, Brett, your suggestion.
All right, going back to Amazon for this one because, it's super convenient. The USB charging portable electric micro sanding pen, right? So it's like a pen you hold in your hand, but it's got a sanding stick on the end of it, so you can get in there
like
and
a mini Dremel kind of like
yeah, like a little Dremel thing, but small, like pen size, and it's got a really
nice.
small sanding surface, so you can get into all those little nooks and crannies to get those mold lines.
Is that how you
whatever.
microabrade your face to make you look so youthful there?
I probably need to. I need to probably get back on that. But $43, I got the link there for Amazon for you.
Nice. Yeah, I've never looked for one of those. I mean, I have a full-size Dremel. I've never used it, but to have a nice small pen one, that would be super cool. All right, Steve, what's your pick?
So I have here the $40 Blue Falcon Hobbies Vietnam Jet Kickstarter, right? $40. We just talked about it.
Shocking. Just talked
How
about
should I
it.
do that? But I don't know if you can hear me crunching the numbers on my keyboard. If we make it an all Blue Falcon Christmas and you break it just a little bit and go up to $55, you could get the Kickstarter and a set of neoprene ship targets. So keep that
it's
in
always
mind.
the neoprene ship targets. Those things are the rage. We cannot keep those on the shelf. They just fly off the shelves. Usually when my cat jumps on the shelf and knocks them off. Yeah. So buy a neoprene ship target. All right, Matt, what's your pick?
So I was thinking along the same lines of Brett. I know Chris is going to call me a heretic or blasphemer or something like that, but I've got 2 or 3 of these handheld airbrush compressors I got off Amazon, and they range anywhere from like $40, or there's, I guess, higher end ones that come with detachable batteries for about $70. But I've got 2 of the $40 handheld airbrush compressors. They came with a completely trash airbrush. But at the end of the day, you screw whatever decent airbrush you have into them. They work for like small adjustments, or if you're doing like broad stroke base painting or priming. They've worked wonderfully for me. I've taken them on travel with me when I've been, conferences and whatnot, and been able to paint my hotel room. They've been super convenient. They charge via USB usually, so you even aren't, forget the charger or whatever form. I usually have the USB with me, and they recharge real fast, and it's enough to get one coat of whatever color done, and I can go do something else and come back to it. So it's been really nice. I really enjoy having those. And I know, the airbrush aficionados, people are really, really into it. It's probably not going to work for you. But as far as like just getting something real done and moving that hobby progress forward, they've been an absolute go-to tool for me.
Well, there you go. You heard it from Matt. When you're on travel and you need to paint the hotel room, use your airbrush and your portable compressor. Yeah, well, we'll just leave it at that. All right. So I also chose something paint involved. And people are they're gonna call me out on this one. I get it. Everybody has a favorite brand. I chose the one that I buy the most crap from. Buy a nice wet palette for someone with all the new things you'd use for contrast paints, for inks, for washes, all the little cutout dropper things. Army Painter has one they call the Wargamers edition. It's an extra larger wet palette. It's got all your little things for speed paints and contrast paints. Red Grass has theirs as well. If you're snooty and you have to use Red Grass, we're talking about you, High Ground Hobbies. Then that's cool. But if you also want to buy stuff from other companies, they've all got it. But the thing is, people are using a lot of contrast paints now, and exactly, Exemplar. I looked at theirs. The only complaint all of us guys that had wet palettes from a couple of years ago is none of them came with the small little holders to hold, contrast paints or things that you don't put on a wet palette. But whatever. So I think that's a pretty cool thing to get or to give as a gift, especially for someone who's just getting into model work, because that will stand them in good stead over a lot of years. All right. Next category, the You've Been Good $50 to $250. $50 to $250. I don't know. I'd pay someone who's been bad that much money. Oh, sorry. We're not talking about that. So you've been a good boy, girl, gender neutral hobbyist this year. You deserve a nice gift. This is what you really want to see under the tree this year. Brett, what was your choice?
Man, I'm going to sound like a Monument Hobbies fanboy, but I'm going with the Go Bag Evo for $195.
Yes. I want one of those. I can't justify one. I have no need for one. Dude, I bring like 8 paints to freaking Adepticon because I got to paint 3 colors on something.
I could fit his travel airbrush thing in there and everything.
Oh, man. Dude, if I had that thing, it is glorious. It is just
buy it.
So
just tell the agency that you are buying it. You're buying a go bag. You gotta be tactical. Buy the go bag.
I need to know it's a paint
go bag. Yeah, exactly.
Everybody will think an SP89's in it. It's just paint.
Yeah, exactly. No, I got a bunch of pieces and brushes. Yeah. But no, I've seen those for the last year or so, 2 years, whatever they've been really promoted. Those are nice. I want one, can't justify it. I actually have a stack of all of my battle foam bags that I have to go move into storage because they take up too much room here. So I'm kind of a bag whore, and I know that about myself. Anyway, Steve, what was your pitch for $50 to $250?
Damn, I actually just went and looked at that go bag. That thing is pretty sweet, man.
It is.
Checking that out, another tab. That's nice. My big spender gift, Ares Games Wings of Glory is 100% back in production. The rules and accessory kit with all the cards and rules and measuring tools and everything is $29.99. Doesn't come with any planes, so you got to buy the planes separate. But planes are like $15 to $20 depending on the plane. So for $250, you can get the rules and accessories, maybe 7 or 8 planes, have a nice little Wings of Glory set there to have some fun with.
Nice. Yeah, you're becoming the Wings of Glory fanboy, which is good. Good. I'm glad you found a World War I game that you like. So it's a fun game. I enjoyed playing it. I'm not as much of a fanboy as you, but we need to play the World War II version and try that, or at least I need to play it and try that out.
I actually have a bunch of World War I.
Shocking. Did you
I'm not sure I've opened the starter set, but I've got the planes. They're on my desk.
People are pathetic.
Do we need to make a Cold War version of Wings of Glory?
Oh, God.
Actually,
good idea, Ferry. Fuck off.
I would say it's super funny. At Fallen, I said to the guy, I was like, hey, you got any interest in doing Wings of Glory jets? And he was like, I don't really think so. I was like, well, you just wait, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Just wait. We'll show you where it's at. All right. That and other bad ideas, we'll turn it over to Matt for your choice.
So my recommendation is it doesn't even matter which one of the Clash of Steel starters.
Why would anyone buy a Clash of Steel starter?
Well, you gave me all yours for free. So maybe I'm a little bit biased.
I think they gave away enough at Adepticon that there's no market for the starter kit anymore.
I looked at the rules. I haven't played yet. I'm going to rope you into it one of these days. I think the rules concept is pretty cool.
You actually have to show up at the gaming store that I'm at.
I showed up this week. This week, and you guys were playing like 4 separate games all at once.
We were.
But yeah, you couldn't make heads or tails of that. But the game itself looks cool. But more importantly, to me at least, it comes with just a shit ton of tiny tanks, 15 millimeter tanks. And granted, like they're all a lot of them are paper tanks. A lot of them are super late World War II, getting into like Checkpoint Charlie. I think the latest starters, the U.S. force has like M60s. Nope, not M60s. The other one, M46s, whatever 46, 47. Somebody's going to correct me. I don't give a shit. Don't at me. But it like those tanks are just so much fun to put together. They're useful for like a wide swath, everything from late World War I through Korea, all the way Checkpoint Charlie to Vietnam. And then you get some cool things like the Moss super tanks, the British Taurus, and like I said, like Battlefront, I don't love their Flames of War rules. They seem to tone it down in terms of like number of tanks for this rule set. That's pretty cool. But I can't fault their kits. Their kits are just absolutely fantastic.
The kits are nice.
Yeah, they're so nice.
I think their plastic kits are really
they go together so well. You can almost like just pour glue in the box and shake them, and they'll come together. So that's my recommendation. It's and frankly, like the rules do look like a lot of fun. I watched a bunch of battle reports. I just need to. Everything's just about painting. I need to get somebody else to play with me.
Yeah, that would be cool. Well, along that line, my choice was something that we've also dabbled in previously. Steve and I have had a lot of fun with this. You know, you can go out there and you can get the Snapship Tactics starter bundle with extra fighters for $108 right now. So it's about 20% off. You get the starter kit with 2 fighters in there. You get 2 more fighter models, extra stands, extra cards, everything you need to kind of have a multi-ship battle in Snapship Tactics and to be able to interchange weapons and stuff like that. I hadn't really looked at it much in the last year to see what was going on. They've got a lot of new fighters coming out. There's new extra weapons kits and other cool accessories coming out. So the game is still going. I actually looked at this. I'm like, man, I kind of need to go pick up a starter kit just so I can play it. Although I'm pretty sure, Matt, you also have those sitting underneath the boxes of A4s or F4.
Those are actually in their own box, and they're sitting under piles of Clash of Steel starters.
Yeah. I understand. So
that said, that they just I shared it with you guys, but they just released like some of the new parts.
Yep.
Like you can make like a pretty convincing aliens dropship if you were so inclined. There's some pretty cool neat parts coming out for that.
Dude, if you get into the Snaptics snap
easy for you to say.
Well, Steve's having a stroke, everyone.
I don't know what it's called. This Snapship, if you get into the Snapship Tactics and you join their Discord, they have a whole bunch of STL files for different components that you can print and add to your Snapships to make kinds of like cool modules and stuff like that. So if you're into it, get on the Snapships Discord. It's
honestly,
cool.
I really don't understand why this game hasn't taken off. It's like combining Legos with wargaming with like crack.
Dude, exactly. So I laughed at all of us that are just big kids anyway. I think it's an ego thing. I think people are just too afraid to be seen, quote, playing with a toy. Look, motherfuckers, your little 1/200th, the 1/300th planes are toys, okay?
Well,
you are a toy.
So the one flaw that it does have is they're really big bases and it gets super clunky. So if you want to play kind of
when you play those big ships that got the big wings and shit hanging off.
If you even want to play a semi-serious war game, it's really not made for it. But if you just want to get toys out and like have something to do with your toys, like it's freaking cool.
Well, dude, that was totally us at Twisted Lords that year because we're just doing all kinds of crazy shit, bouncing off other sides of the board and doing all kinds of crazy things. So
I saw dudes on their Facebook page putting together like capital ship scale ships. I mean, it was super impressive. It looked like the Roger Young off of Starship Troopers.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool looking. I was like, holy shit, how much? Well, I mean, most of the kits aren't very expensive by themselves. I think you can get them even for like $9-10 on Amazon when they go on sale. So I was like, holy shit, that even still, that was probably a lot of kits to put that together. It had to be like 4 feet long.
They now make extension kits, so you can buy ones that are just extra blocks if you need to make your ships longer or whatever.
Yeah,
that you can.
I saw on the social Sydney Sweeney's playing it. She's into it.
Oh man!
Oh man! Where's Casey? Yeah. Oh, Casey's going to suddenly appear.
They just literally sold out every single thing of Snapships.
They're all gone at that point.
Snapships are gone.
She's also on that Kickstarter that Blue Falcon Hobbies is doing. I heard.
Oh yeah. That's right.
That's what I
That's
heard.
right.
Yeah, not so much. Okay, so hey, moving on. Now the next category is the lump of coal category. Obviously, no price because we all have to buy gifts for people that we really don't like me buying them for the podcast team, just to keep the peace. Think of that pain in the ass sister or mother-in-law or your boss who's a huge pain in the ass, but is always trying to be one of the bros, dude. Brett, what was your suggestion for this one?
All right, hear me out. So the first thing that came to my mind is, somebody that annoys you that has kids, right? And you've probably seen these before. You could find this on Amazon. It's the Bump and Go airplane toy with lights and sound. But wait, there's more
for Matt and Hazel.
Dude,
there's more. You put the batteries in it. You super glue the battery compartment closed, and you super glue the on button to its on setting.
Yep,
and the thing, it's bump and go. So like it just runs around making the incessant loud noise. It's, it's awesome.
Yep.
My brother,
sorry, Matt. Uncle Doug is coming over right after Christmas.
No. You don't understand. My brother does this to me every single year for the past 2 years. He's gotten the loudest fucking toy he can find and sends it to me. And of course, Hazel finds it. And then my mother-in-law decides to put fucking batteries in it. Why? I don't know. She fucking hates me, I guess.
Because you have to. Yeah, exactly.
No, you don't.
That's brilliant.
Just don't put batteries in the fucking thing. But of course, batteries went in. Like, I come home from work. Why the fuck is that thing making noise? We hadn't had batteries for the 2 years. Oh, it didn't have batteries in it. That's what I did for Hazel. I'm like,
thanks.
what the
thanks.
shit?
You're the best. That's awesome. All right, Steve, what would you do? What would you do for the lump of coal category?
Mine would take a little effort because you really got to set it up like it's a really genuinely
some social engineering on this one,
right?
Yeah.
But what you do is you talk to this person, hey, really good Facebook group, Bolt Action Facebook group. You join it, you might learn a little bit of something about games, but then they just get inundated with constant middle-aged men bitching and complaining about a new rule set coming out that they don't understand yet. So you just bombard them with negativity for a full 365-day calendar year. It'd be great.
I'm just kind of disappointed because I thought that the Flames of War Facebook group was going to be like the most negative, and then the Bolt Action ones just like beat it in spades. They just beat it hands down.
You could also really do a good setup and say like, hey, would you mind going on the Fall-In page for me and ask, or HMGS page, and ask if there's any hotel rooms left? That would be like another good setup that you can really pitch to people to really get.
A way to show you care.
Yeah, exactly. Show that you care. Oh, man. All right, Matt, what would you do to the person who gets a lump of coal?
So if, your adversary or best friend or whoever is even like remotely interested in wargaming, maybe they're interested in history and they're like war game curious, drag them into it. Set them up for a lifetime of financial ruin. And then this is the absolute key. Switch your interest in wargaming every month. So like, say you got them interested in BRS. Well, maybe segue over to Bolt Action. Oh, suddenly they buy a Bolt Action starter. And there's like a Bolt Action. Oh, hold on, let's go smaller. Action Panzer, but we're going to play it in 15 millimeter instead.
Do you see the look on Brett's face? Brett's feeling a little called out right now because I'm pretty sure that's what Brett does to all of us. I'm sitting right here. You act like I don't do that to the rest of the podcast.
Did you convince your buddies they got to have Pimax headsets for their DCS rig? Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I'm actually going to do a personal shout out here. You're welcome, Aaron. As he sends me pictures of him doing some Horse Heresy tiles. That one wasn't my fault.
Good that he's supporting someone else because we need to say, Aaron, thank you for funding our beer fund. When we're at Adepticon and you're not, we'll be drinking beer because of you. So thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with his 17 F4s.
All right. So what was my suggestion? How did I want to give someone a gamer equivalent to a lump of coal? I said, send them the PDF of the Beyond Mig Alley rules because it's going to do one of two things. Either they're going to leave you alone because they're going to look at that rule set and they're going to realize you're a grognard and they're not going to talk to you. Or they're going to go broke buying little resin jets and adding to the LPP beer fund because pretty much those are the two reactions that I've seen out of everyone that's looked at Beyond Mig Alley. All right. that summarizes most of the things out there. Matt has a point of order. Yes, yes, Mr. Midget.
This are the Resin Mig Alley jets out from Warlord?
Yes. So
have we seen them?
All of their.
I don't think I've seen anyone post those.
Oh, sorry, I've sold them in the store. I'm a terrible person because I haven't given you any. Yeah, So they're out. So it also comes out in a smaller box, which is nice. So it's not the big box. It's the new smaller fighter size box.
No, I'll take a look.
You get 2 and 2.
Or are they still like stupid skinny, or they actually look proper?
I don't know because I haven't opened the box to take a look.
God damn it, Doug!
I guess I'll have to order an extra one from John. Dear John Russell, send me an extra box. Yes, Brett, point of order from you.
Do metal Stukas still exist anywhere? Can we find those to give to people we don't like?
Can we find those and send them to people? Yeah, and I forget who it was. Somebody just a month or so ago in the Ready Room, poor individual was putting together metal Stukas. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, but yeah. Any other cool things you guys have seen around the interwebs?
Hey, we did get a monthly question of how to straighten the wings on the Battle of Britain starter box the other day. So that was a plus, right?
I saw that.
I was
Jason like, wow.
Fernandez's answer. He's like, I totally forgot about how you had to do that. Yeah. Well, so that's kind of a good segue. So if all of you remember all the stuff in bendy plastic that Warlord has not re-released, like let's say Yak 1s, BF 109s, P51s. If you're looking for those aircraft, Lead Pursuit has you hooked up right now because we're about to release starter packs of 4 of each of those. And they're going to go, obviously, to some of our retailers that are selling at shows. They're also going to be available over on the Mariner Games website. But that's if you need to buy some of these aircraft in kind of mass numbers like you would have from a box set from Warlord that was bendy plastic and now is no longer available. So keep an eye out for those. Would love to hear people's feedback about those sets because, of course, the first thing people said is, why didn't you do them in 6 aircraft like Warlord? Because I didn't want to do them in 6 aircraft sets, okay? So we did them in 4 aircraft sets. But there's going to be a lot more things. It's coming out under Mariner Games' brand. It's got our logo on the top. It's the Squadron Commander series of aircraft, and you'll see that here hitting the interwebs, hitting social media in the next few weeks.
And just to be clear, these are not bendy plastic that you're selling.
These are not bendy plastic. These are resin. These are 3D printed. They're actually semi-flex resin. They're not like the RPG game resin, but they are less rigid than our kind of they're orange dirt colored resin ones. So totally different make. It's being manufactured for us by Phalanx Consortium. They're hooking us up and they've been really cool to work with. So everybody take a look at those when you see them at a show near you and support Lead Pursuit because we go through a lot of beer money at Adepticon. Need more beer. All right. With that, that's all I've got, guys. Any last minute comments, parting shots, humorous jokes, nothing else. I don't have a witty tagline because it's been one of those months, and I'm glad to be back in the U.S. and not stuck in a blizzard or martial law in South Korea. So I'm just glad to be home. I did. Little did I know that everything was going to go to shit right after I left South Korea, but got stuck in a blizzard and then finally made it home for Thanksgiving. But anyway, thanks for listening. You know what? We're the Lead Pursuit podcast, and we're here to ruin your gaming day through gift suggestions.
Follow Lead Pursuit. Sydney Sweeney does.